Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today in Quartz Caverns, and we're going to be running through and getting all of the achievements. This game is going to be a 2D platformer that's going to be divided into 18 levels. We're going to need to start with the first level and then work our way through. So make sure you drop in. You're going to basically run and jump and collect gems. The gems are not going to be needed for anything, so we're just going to basically try to find the shortest way to get to the exit. The exits are going to be these wooden doors. All you have to do is just make sure you go up to them and then enter. Once you do, you should clear whatever stage you are on. There's going to be an achievement per stage, so that's going to be 18 achievements in total, one per stage. Once you get to level 2, we're going to make our way up this vertical column and then work our way to the right. Level 2 is going to introduce the concept of these levers right here. You're going to flip them, and that's going to open these barriers, allowing you to pass on through. So make sure you do that, and then slide on down here, and then just make sure you follow the trail of gems all the way to the exit, and that's going to be another stage in the bag. Level 3 is going to be a gimme level. They're going to give you a new item right here in the form of the boots. You're going to hit the B button to dash once you have them. These gimme levels are basically going to just consist of them giving you an item, a brief little tutorial on how to use them, and then a free exit. So now that we have the dash, we're going to work on stage 4. This one is going to be the stage that requires the most effort in the game, and of course we're going to explain why in a bit. But nonetheless, make sure you use your dash to make your way to the right. You can clear the gaps, allowing you to move through super duper fast. Once you notice these 3 blocks, you're going to staircase up. Once you're at the highest one, turn around to the left and then hit the switch up here. And then we're going to get this barrier open, allowing us to pass on through. Once you are here, we're just going to keep pushing our way to the right. We're going to have a drop down here, and then we're going to get to this staircase of blocks, taking us to this alcove. What you want to do is you want to make sure you flip this switch right here. That's going to get this barrier open that we're going to need to pass through later. Make your way down and then to the right. We're going to not go through where the barrier was. Instead, we're going to take this little detour off to the right, as we're going to need to flip another switch. Make sure you make your way past that intersection, and then make sure you get into this corner. Staircase up here, and then flip this switch to get another barrier open just above us. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to go up on the intersection, which is going to be why we need to head back to the previous barrier, and we should be able to make our way up this vertical column. Make sure you make your way to the right, and then you should be able to pass through that other barrier, and then that's going to allow you to head to where the exit is. So we should be in stage 5. This is going to be another gimme stage where they're going to give you the sword. Make sure you pick that up. You're going to swing using the X button. This is perhaps the most important thing in the game, as it's going to allow us to use what this guide is intended for, and that's going to be the hidden portals that are going to drastically shrink down the amount of time that we have to play. So once we have the sword in hand, make sure you complete the tutorial as you would. You're going to learn how to defeat enemies and then use the switches. Pretty basic stuff. But once you get into stage 6, we're going to basically go through the rest of the game using the sword in order to find the hidden portals, which is going to allow us to use shortcuts in order to beat all of the stages. So first things up, make sure you flip that switch and then drop straight down once the barrier is removed. Then we're going to work our way down this zigzagging corridor and then flip this switch. Then we're going to drop down here. Once you're in this bottom left corner of the level, you're going to want to use your sword to reveal your first shortcut. Shortcuts are always going to be hidden by these destructible blocks. All you have to do is just make sure you hit them with your sword until they break, and then once they do, they are always going to feature a hidden switch. You're going to want to hit these switches with your sword, and that's going to spawn a portal that you can walk on through, and these portals are always going to warp you to a favorable spot near where the exit is. Just make sure you exit, and then that's going to count as you beating the stage, which is going to save you a ton of time. So from here on forward, this guide is basically going to show you where all of the hidden portals are going to be. So stage 7, make sure you make your way over to this bottom right corner, make sure you flip that switch and then get back onto this block. We're going to jump through where the barrier once was, and then we're going to work our way up here. Once you get over this platform, you're going to have this alcove right here with another switch in it. Make sure you flip that to get the barrier open, and then we're going to make our way up this column. Then we're going to push our way further to the right. Once you get up this staircase, you're going to have another switch right here. Now, normally you're going to need to navigate across all of these moving barriers right here. We're just going to ignore that and just look for the shortcut, which is going to be all the way over here on the right side of where all of these moving barriers would normally be. So here's going to be the block. Make sure you take out your sword and start smacking it. And then behind is going to be the switch in question. Make sure you hit that, go through the portal, and that's going to warp you over to where the exit's going to be. Now, the other cool thing about these shortcut portals is they're also going to remove any requirements that may be keeping you from using the exit, such as switches, so do take advantage of that as well. Alright, so the next stage is going to be another gimme stage. This stage is going to teach you about multiple switches. Basically, if you have an exit that has a number on it, it's going to tell you how many switches is required to open it. Just make sure you hit all of them. There's going to be 2 in this little tutorial bit, and that should get the thing opened, and then you can walk on through. Obviously, we don't have to worry about this since we are going to be using shortcuts the rest of the way. So make sure you just get into the next stage. Exit's going to be in front of us, but of course we are going to need to unlock it. So we're going to make our way up this zigzagging place, and then we're going to keep working our way forward. Once you find this staircase, you're going to work your way up and then get into this corridor. At the end of this corridor is going to be a vertical climb where you're going to be jumping back and forth between the left and the right side. At the tippy top of this thing is going to be where the shortcut is going to be. So make sure you just keep bouncing back and forth, and then once you get to the top, which should be on the left side, you're going to have your shortcut right here. Make sure you break the block to reveal the switch, hit the switch, and that's going to warp you to where the exit is going to be, which again was at the beginning. And it's also going to remove all of the requirements to unlock it. So just make sure you step on through, and that's going to be another stage in the bag. This is going to be stage 10. This is going to be the last gimme stage in the game where the game's going to give you the blaster. So make sure you pick that up. It's going to teach you to shoot with the Y button. You are mostly going to use the blaster to hit out of reach switches. So we're going to make our way up here. We're going to shoot this switch through this gap using the blaster, jump up here, and then do the same thing with this second one. That's going to unlock the exit. Make sure you head back to the middle of the level and exit, and that's going to take us to the bulk of the rest of the game. Alrighty, stage 11. We're going to start out by hitting this switch, and then we're going to have this series of moving platforms that we need to jump on and then flip switches. You're always going to have a gap, so you should be able to make the next one even if you aren't paying super close attention. This one isn't so much a test of timing skill, it's going to be more or less a test of patience, as the switches are always going to be in the back part of these moving platforms. But your patience is going to be rewarded, as once you get to the tippy top, you're going to have another shortcut right here. So make sure you celebrate by breaking that block to get that switch revealed. Make sure you hit that switch, and make sure you shortcut your way over to the exit, and then get another stage out of the way. Now, as you can see, normally this exit is going to require 5 switches. However, if you just drop straight down into the bottom left corner, you'll find the shortcut right at the beginning. So make sure you do take advantage, save yourself all the time in the world, come down here, break that block, hit that switch, and shortcut your way all the way to the exit, and enjoy you skipping on needing to find those 5 switches. Stage 13 is probably going to have one of the more harder shortcuts to find, so make sure you are paying very close attention. Look for this first moving platform and then just ride it up. We're going to make our way to the right here. We're going to stay high on these blocks, so just follow the gems until you get to this next moving platform. You want to make sure you stick to the moving platforms as best you can so you don't get lost, but you're going to want to look below you. You are going to be on the lookout for this staircase right here. So once you notice that, feel free to drop down, and it's going to be in this area where we're going to find the shortcut right over here. So make sure you pay attention for that landmark, and you should be able to find it no problem. Make sure you break open the block and then get that switch revealed, flip it, and then off to another exit we shortcut to, and that's going to be another stage out of the way. Stage 14 is where we're going to have the second use of the blaster, which are going to be when we shoot these crystals right here. They aren't going to do anything practical but light up the area, so you are going to just use them to see slightly better. So you can stop by and shoot them if you want to. It's not going to be really necessary. The game isn't going to be impossible to navigate in the dark. So we're just going to make our way to the right. Right here in the bottom right of the level is going to be our next shortcut, so make sure you look for this spot, break it open as you normally would, flip that switch, and then make sure you go through the portal, and that's going to be this stage out of the way. Stage 15 is where we're going to have the other type of crystal. So in addition to the ones that light up the room, we're going to have these darker colored ones. Basically, you shoot these and they're going to change your shot direction to wherever they're facing, which is always going to be up. These are normally going to help you out with certain switches. Of course, we're going to just ignore them for the most part, as we're just going to be on the lookout for the shortcuts anyways. So make sure you just ignore opening that barrier and just work your way up here, following all the small gems. And then we're basically going to work our way to this area right here between these two gems. And then right next to the one on the right is going to be where our shortcut is going to be. So the one that's going to light up the other crystal is going to be where the shortcut switch is going to be. So break open that block, hit the switch, through the portal we go, and that's going to be another level out of the way. Alright, stage 16 is going to be very straightforward. All we have to do is just make sure we go straight to the right. We're going to have a little bit of a jump to get over this speed bump, but just make sure you get over here, keep pushing to the right, and then once you run out of space, that's going to be where your shortcut block is going to be. Make sure you do the same, break that thing open, get that switch revealed, flip the switch, and then take the portal all the way over to the exit, shortcutting the whole level and taking care of another one for us. Stage 17 is going to be another easy one. All you have to do is just make sure you keep dropping down until you hit the bottommost part of this opening bit of the level. So just make sure you keep dropping. Once you get all the way to the bottom, turn to the left, shortcut blocks right here, break that thing open, get that switch revealed, flip the switch, and then we're on to the very last level, which is going to be level 18. Alright, last level, level 18. This is basically going to be a boss fight. We're going to have this game's version of a final boss in the form of this giant crystal right here. All you have to do is just make sure you shoot it with your blaster. You're going to keep shooting it until it fills up all the way with color. And once you finally get that taken care of, you should be good for the last achievement. There it is, 150 gamer score. That's going to be the whole game taken care of thanks to the power of shortcuts. Hope you enjoyed the guide, and that's all there is to it.